Oh hey, didn't see you there. Have you ever realized how weird and overused time skips are? Like, oh, right now is boring and kind of repetitive, but if we just fade away. Why the hell has all that changed my outfit and hairstyle?
We've been here before, the good old topic of anime tropes. I've said it before, but literally every medium has tropes, which are just similarities in storytelling that are used a bit too much. Movies have tropes, like video games have tropes, like TV shows have tropes, like trash has tropes. It isn't a unique concept. But anime tropes, due to being different from everything else, receive a lot more attention. I mean, to be fair, I've never dropped a game because of a weird quirk in the story, but I most certainly have of an anime.
Characters? Ugh, this sucks.
Okay, let's talk about one of the most pointed out tropes that won't age restrict me. Anime character designs. Yes, some look normal, some look like Rinakumura, but have you ever heard of the game called Spot the Protagonist? Usually, if all the characters get the same amount of design effort, it isn't an issue no matter how wacky the characters are made. Like Ida from My Hero Academia has engines in his legs. Deku looks like a piece of broccoli, Mina's fucking pink, but it's fine because everyone looks wacky and it fits in. But riddle me this, how the hell does hair like this happen when everyone looks like this? Okay, we talked about Yu-Gi-Oh! How do we bring up Pokemon? How about how anime likes to break female characters into types? Those types being the deres. The word dere means something related to assertion or expression. Thank you, Google, and thanks to a reminder that it isn't pronounced deer. The most prominent Pokemon types of female characters are Kudere, which is the female version of paint drying on a wall. There's Tsundere, where if you like not being happy, this one's for you. There's Dandere, which is either everyone's favorite or I'm calling the police, and the one we went over before, Yandere, where I very much am in fact calling the police. Okay, how about some actual descriptions if you're into that kind of thing. Kuderes are usually cool, calm, aloof. I'm just reading off of this chart. From what I understand, they mostly come off as not interested.
Holy hell, every woman's a kudere.
While this can be a good place to start for interesting character development, it's rarely utilized to make anything interesting happen. Examples are Inori from Guilty Crown, Kirigiri from Dragon Rumpus, and Rei from Neon Genesis. A tsundere is terrible, and examples are...
Okay, fine, I'll go back.
Tsunderes are usually hostile on the outside, but have a crush on the inside. It's sweet. Much like kuderes, they can be done well, but are usually just boiled down to their bare traits and pigtails. Examples are Mine from A Comic Got Killed, Misaka Mikoto from Magical Index, Noelle Silva from Black Clover, and a character you were waiting for me to mention. Yanderes are outside my damn door. They're usually sweet on the outside, but murderous on the inside, like a cyanide donut. They act nice, but then they get a nasty case of stabby face if something gets in the way of their romantic life. Examples are, dude, just guess. Yeah, there are more, but I also don't feel like I need to show more. Yanderes are usually the most forgotten when it comes to listing off the deres. They're the ones who are mostly shy or quiet. But they can also be some of the most popular characters in these categories. Examples are Hinata from Naruto, Shihoru from Grimgar, Lache, and so much more.
I mean, some of these characters are just irredeemable. Some evil cannot turn good. Or can it?
There are two types of villains. The ones who are defeated and either die or face their sins in a tone of traditional punishment, and then there's the attractive ones. The redemption arc is by no means a bad thing. Some of the best character writing in general has come from that trope. But I don't know, sometimes it feels like the only reason a villain goes through a change is because they're, say it with me, considered hot. I mean, sometimes it's done well, like with Accelerator, sometimes it's Atagawa and the Port Mafia, who apparently have never been bad guys. Haha, wow, crazy. What do you mean random mass murders and terrorist attacks? No, you don't get it, they're cute. Disclaimer, I like Bungo Stray Dogs, I'm wearing a shirt of it as I write the script, but you can't tell me from the start that they were meant to be anti-heroes or something. Another thing that's just completely forced, like a random redemption arc,
or this transition,
is when average life skills transfer to being a genius in a different field. You know what, I can buy being a martial artist helps Ichigo fight better even though he doesn't utilize it in his fighting style. But what I mean is, how did you know it would take 2.3 seconds exactly for healing to take effect, and how did you implement a 20-step plan against that weakness within a minute of knowing it?
Well, that's because I play MMOs.
I mean, I understand trying to explain why an average character can do something so impressive so quickly, but the only skill MMOs has taught me is how to waste 3 days of my life at a time without realizing it. Yet another annoying trope is just how often characters get stronger rather than smarter to improve. Listen, I love a good old shonen hype fest. You better believe I love seeing a character going from pretty cool to probably being able to destroy a whole country. But it makes the course of the story so predictable. How's Ichigo gonna win this fight? Probably new transformation. How about this one? A new transformation. How about the rest?
Guess.
Of course, I'm not saying it's better if a character only learns more ways to fight. If the stakes never get higher, there's a potential it could get boring, but what I'm saying is I think it's best when it's a mixture of these two situations. I personally think one of the more modern stories that do this really well is Demon Slayer. Tanjiro does train to get more physically skilled, but the bulk of his capabilities with his new techniques. I know, he's the protagonist, how could he possibly be boring?
Well, I have a few ideas.
Okay, I have the perfect idea for a character. He's a high school student. A good protagonist can elevate an anime to the highest acclaim, like Light Yagami from Death Note, Edward Elric from Fullmetal Alchemist, or Lelouch V. Britannia from Code Geass. But too often, characters are just a vague vehicle for the viewer to see each situation. I understand it in the case of anime like Another because the story is more the circumstance the characters are in and less about the characters. And the protagonist is meant to be somewhat like the target demographic where his personal details probably align with the reader where, oh, a high schooler, and likes horror novels, ooh. But then there's trying to make a character too vaguely relatable to everyone that has skin. This is basically called the flat protagonist whose personality is an average student, morals good, and oh, apparently clumsy for that sweet, sweet fan service. Yeah, there's a lot of ways to write a one-dimensional protagonist, but this is probably the most common and most annoying.
I am so sick of all of these tropes, so I wrote some code to get rid of anything that isn't an original idea. Huh, everything? Damn it.